Busy doesn't mean productive. Stop wasting time on the wrong things. We live in a world obsessed with being busy, jam-packed calendars, endless meetings, and constant hustle. But here's the hard truth. Busy doesn't mean productive. You can fill every minute of your day and still move nowhere meaningful. Real success isn't about how much you do. It's about doing the right things that push you closer to your goals. If you find yourself exhausted but not advancing, overwhelmed but not winning, it's time to stop confusing motion with progress. Today, I'm going to show you how to break free from the trap of busyness and start investing your time in what truly matters. Activity without strategy is just motion with no meaning in today's fast-paced world. It's easy to fall into the trap of being busy just for the sake of appearing productive. We fill our days with endless tasks, meetings, and errands, believing that staying active equates to getting ahead. But this assumption couldn't be further from the truth. When activity isn't guided by a clear strategy, it becomes nothing more than aimless motion, a treadmill where you expend energy but fail to move forward in any meaningful way. Think about this. How many times have you completed a full day's work only to realize that you didn't accomplish anything that truly matters? You may have crossed off numerous items from your to-do list, but if those items didn't align with your core goals or your bigger vision, you haven't really made progress. The difference between being busy and being productive lies in having a deliberate plan, a strategy that directs every action toward a specific, measurable outcome. Without strategy, activity is like shooting arrows without a target. You might be moving, but you're not hitting anything that counts. This is why it's essential to pause and ask yourself not just what you're doing, but why you're doing it. What is the ultimate goal behind the tasks filling your day? Are these actions taking you closer to your dreams, your purpose, or your vision for success? Or are they merely distractions, obligations, or habits that keep you spinning your wheels? Many people confuse the illusion of busyness with actual progress because it feels productive to be engaged and active. However, real productivity comes when every action is intentional and rooted in a strategic plan that moves you forward. To illustrate, consider the analogy of a business without a business plan. A company may have employees working non-stop, but if those employees are not aligned under a clear strategy, the business will struggle to grow, innovate, or compete. The same principle applies personally and professionally. No matter how hard you work, without a strategy, your efforts can be wasted. The first step to breaking free from pointless busyness is to get crystal clear on your goals. What is the one thing that, if accomplished, would make everything else easier or unnecessary? Once you define that, you can begin to evaluate your daily activities with ruthless honesty. Are these tasks moving you closer to that goal, or are they filling time without purpose? From there, it's about learning to say no. No to distractions, no to unnecessary tasks, no to the busy work that only serves to drain your energy and steal your focus. Being strategic means prioritizing quality over quantity. It means focusing on high-impact actions rather than getting lost in the low-value noise. This mindset shift will transform your day-to-day life. You'll start to experience the power of alignment, where your actions become meaningful steps on a path toward success, rather than random movements that leave you feeling tired and stuck. This approach requires discipline and clarity, but the payoff is enormous. Instead of constantly chasing after tasks, you'll be moving confidently toward your goals, energized by the fact that your effort is not wasted but invested. Remember, strategy is not something reserved for CEO or top executives. It's a fundamental skill for anyone who wants to live a life of purpose and achievement. When you embrace strategy, you reclaim your time and energy from the chaos of busyness and put them to work for you. This is the foundation of true productivity. moving with intention, driven by a clear plan that transforms your activity into meaningful progress. So the next time you find yourself overwhelmed by a packed schedule, ask yourself, what's the strategy behind this? If you can't answer that question clearly, it's time to rethink how you spend your time, because being busy without strategy is just motion with no meaning, and your dreams deserve so much more than that. If your to-do list isn't tied to your purpose, you're just getting tired, not ahead in the relentless pursuit of success. Many people find themselves trapped in a cycle of endless tasks and frantic activity, believing that crossing off items from their to-do list is synonymous with making progress. Yet, the harsh reality is that if those tasks are not directly connected to your deeper purpose or your ultimate goals, you're simply exhausting yourself without moving forward. This kind of busy work can drain your energy, scatter your focus, and leave you feeling worn out and frustrated at the end of the day. The difference between true progress and mere exhaustion lies in alignment. Alignment between what you do every day and the core reasons you're pursuing your goals in the first place. Your purpose is the guiding star that should illuminate every action you take. Without it, your to-do list becomes a meaningless collection of chores rather than a roadmap to your dreams. Imagine you're climbing a mountain, but you keep changing directions with every step because you don't have a clear destination. You'll be tired, confused, and no closer to the peak. The same applies to your daily work. If your efforts aren't tethered to your purpose, you're running on a treadmill of fatigue, not making meaningful strides. One of the biggest mistakes people make is letting their schedules and responsibilities dictate their days instead of using their purpose to define what deserves their attention. This reversal causes a dangerous disconnect. The urgent always overtakes the important, and before long, you find yourself chasing tasks that keep you busy but do nothing to fulfill your vision. This is why it's critical to start with clarity about your purpose. What is the deeper reason you want to succeed? What legacy do you want to build? What impact do you want to have on your life, your family, your community? When you have a clear answer, you can use it as a filter to evaluate every item on your to-do list. Will doing this task bring me closer to my purpose? If not, then it's time to reconsider its place in your schedule. The truth is, not every task is created equal. Some activities create massive momentum, while others are distractions dressed up as productivity. Knowing the difference is the key to stopping exhaustion and starting advancement. This requires ruthless prioritization, saying no to good opportunities and even some seemingly important duties so you can say yes to the few things that truly matter. Living without this filter means you're working hard but not smart, and hard work without smart direction is a recipe for burnout, not breakthrough. Another crucial aspect is understanding that purpose-driven productivity demands consistency and focus. You can't just do the right things sporadically and expect sustainable progress. Purpose should infuse every part of your day, guiding your decisions from the biggest projects down to the smallest tasks. When your actions align with your purpose, you tap into a powerful source of motivation and energy that pushes you through challenges and distractions. Conversely, when your to-do list is disconnected from your purpose, even the simplest task feels like a chore, and motivation quickly fades. To shift from tired to ahead, you must also learn to manage your energy wisely. Purpose-driven work often means investing your best hours in your highest value activities and guarding your time fiercely against interruptions. It means recognizing when you're busy being busy and stepping back to recalibrate. This balance is what transforms a chaotic day into a purposeful journey. In the end, the secret to escaping the exhaustion trap lies in the alignment of action and purpose. Your to-do list is not just a list. It's your map to the future you want to create. When every item reflects your deepest why, you don't just get tired, you get results. You don't just fill time, you build momentum. You don't just survive, you thrive. So, take a hard look at your daily activities and ask yourself, are these tasks helping me live out my purpose, or am I just spinning my wheels? Because the answer to that question will determine whether you finish your days drained and stuck or energized and ahead. Purpose is the difference maker. It's what turns a to-do list into a to-win list. Without it, all the busy work in the world won't bring you closer to the life you deserve. You don't need more hours. You need more intention in the ones you've got. One of the most common misconceptions about productivity and success is the belief that the key to accomplishing more lies in adding more hours to your day. We often see people striving to work longer, stay up later, or squeeze every last minute out of their schedule, thinking that busyness is the gateway to achievement. But here's the truth that so many overlook. It's not about how many hours you have, it's about what you do with the hours you already possess. The secret to true productivity and progress is intention, the deliberate and focused use of time toward meaningful results. Without intention, more hours simply mean more wasted energy and more exhaustion. You can be busy from dawn to dusk, yet if your time isn't spent intentionally, you end up spinning your wheels and missing out on what truly matters. This idea challenges the popular hustle culture mantra that glorifies being constantly on and grinding endlessly. Instead of glorifying long hours, the focus must shift toward quality over quantity, toward presence and purpose over mere activity. Intention is the fuel that transforms time into results. It's about starting your day with a clear vision of what you want to achieve, choosing your actions carefully, and maintaining unwavering focus on those priorities despite distractions and competing demands. When you approach your time with intention, every minute is a building block toward your bigger goals. In contrast, without intention, even hours packed with activity can amount to little more than noise and confusion. To illustrate, imagine two people each with an 8-hour workday. The first person approaches those hours scattered, jumping from task to task, distracted by emails, meetings, and interruptions, never fully engaging in any one thing. The second person enters the day with a plan, laser, focused on the highest impact activities, deliberately minimizing distractions and making decisions that align with their priorities. Who do you think achieves more by the end of the day? It's clear. The second person doesn't just have more time. They have more intention in their time, and that makes all the difference. This also means learning to say no to time-wasting activities, whether they come in the form of unproductive meetings, social media scrolling, or unnecessary multitasking. Intention demands boundaries and discipline. It asks you to protect your focus like a precious resource because it is one. Time will never increase. Everyone gets the same 24 hours. But your ability to be intentional with those hours is what separates those who stagnate from those who soar. Cultivating intention also requires self-awareness and reflection. You must regularly evaluate how you spend your time and ask yourself, is this action serving my purpose? Is it moving me closer to my goals? If the answer is no, then you must correct and redirect your energy. This process isn't always easy. It means cutting out habits and routines that don't serve you, which can be uncomfortable and require courage. But the reward is enormous, the ability to work smarter, not harder, and to make your days feel purposeful rather than chaotic. Another powerful aspect of intention is that it helps you stay resilient and motivated. When your time is invested with purpose, you're less likely to get derailed by setbacks or distractions because you know exactly why you're doing what you're doing. Your intention acts as a compass, keeping you on track even when challenges arise. Without this clarity, it's easy to become overwhelmed or lose direction, resulting in wasted time and frustration. In essence, what you need is not more hours, it's more intentional hours. The goal is to maximize the impact of the time you already have, not to extend your days indefinitely. When you master the art of intentional time management, you transform your daily grind into a powerful force for progress. You begin to see that every moment matters, and you learn to guard your time fiercely, investing it only where it counts. This mindset shift changes everything. Suddenly, your schedule becomes a tool that serves your dreams rather than a burden that drains your energy. It frees you from the exhausting illusion that being busy equals being productive and empowers you to take control of your life on your own terms. So, the next time you feel overwhelmed by your endless to-do list or pressured to work longer hours, remember this: more hours won't fix your productivity problem, more intention will. Start focusing on how you spend the time you have with deliberate purpose, and you will watch your results soar, your stress diminish, and your sense of fulfillment deepen. Time is your most valuable asset. Don't waste it by simply filling it. Instead, invest it with intention and watch how your life transforms. Being busy is a badge of chaos, not a symbol of success in today's society. There is an almost unquestioned glorification of busyness. People wear their packed schedules like medals of honor, proudly proclaiming how busy they are as if it were the ultimate measure of their worth and success. From social media posts boasting about back meetings to conversations peppered with complaints about how much they have to do, busyness has become the new status symbol. But here's the unvarnished truth: being busy is not a badge of success, it's a badge of chaos. It signals that your life is cluttered with too many distractions, too many obligations, and too little focus. The constant state of frantic motion doesn't mean you're winning. It means you're overwhelmed, out of control, and potentially moving in the wrong direction. When busyness takes center stage, it creates a dangerous illusion. It convinces you that you're making progress, when in reality, you're merely spinning your wheels in a chaotic frenzy. You might be attending every meeting, responding to every email instantly, and juggling a mountain of responsibilities, but none of these actions guarantee that you're advancing toward your goals. In fact, they often do the opposite. They steal your time, drain your energy, and scatter your focus. This chaos is exhausting and unsustainable. Over time, living in a state of constant busyness leads to burnout, diminished creativity, and a sense of being stuck despite all the effort expended. When you look closely, you'll see that people who are truly successful don't just fill their schedules to the brim. They manage their time with precision, focus on what matters most, and create space for rest and reflection. They understand that busyness without clarity is a recipe for failure, not achievement. One of the biggest reasons busyness becomes chaos is the failure to prioritize. Instead of identifying what tasks will have the greatest impact on their goals, people fall into the trap of responding to the urgent instead of the important. This firefighting mentality keeps them perpetually busy but rarely productive. The urgent pulls them in every direction, demanding immediate attention but rarely contributing to long-term success. This dynamic creates a relentless cycle of stress and frustration, where the to-do list grows faster than it shrinks, and the feeling of accomplishment remains elusive. The antidote to this chaos is intentional prioritization and disciplined time management. It starts with stepping back and asking yourself the hard questions. What are the few things that matter most? Which tasks will move the needle significantly? By narrowing your focus and saying no to everything that doesn't serve these priorities, you regain control over your schedule and your life. It's not about doing more, it's about doing less better. Another reason busyness feels like chaos is the tendency to multitask. Many believe that juggling multiple tasks at once is the hallmark of efficiency, but science proves otherwise. Multitasking fragments your attention, reduces the quality of your work, and lengthens the time it takes to complete tasks. It creates mental clutter and fatigue, contributing to the feeling of chaos and overwhelm. To break free from this, you must cultivate deep focus, dedicating blocks of uninterrupted time to single tasks. This practice not only improves your efficiency, but also your satisfaction and sense of accomplishment. Furthermore, being busy often means neglecting self-care and rest, which ironically reduces your overall productivity. When you're constantly on the go without adequate recovery, your brain and body suffer. You become prone to mistakes, less creative, and more prone to stress-related illnesses. True success requires balance, recognizing that rest and renewal are not luxuries but essentials for sustained high performance. Many who wear busyness as a badge are actually running from discomfort, avoiding tough decisions, delaying important reflections, or hiding behind activity to mask lack of direction. This avoidance perpetuates chaos because it prevents clarity and focus from emerging. Taking the time to slow down, reflect, and realign with your purpose is critical to escaping the trap of busyness. When you do, you create a foundation of calm, clarity, and control that transforms your life from chaotic busyness to purposeful productivity. Another critical shift is redefining what success looks like. Society often equates success with doing more work, more meetings, more output. But true success is measured by meaningful progress, quality relationships, and personal fulfillment. It's about how well you manage your energy and focus, not how packed your calendar is. When you embrace this mindset, the pressure to be busy fades away, replaced by a focus on what truly matters. This shift allows you to set boundaries confidently, protect your time fiercely, and create space for innovation and growth. In summary, being busy is not a sign of success. It is a warning signal that your life is out of balance and your priorities are unclear. It's a state of chaos disguised as achievement, draining your energy and distracting you from what really counts. To reclaim your time, your focus, and your results, you must break free from the busyness trap. This means prioritizing intentionally, focusing deeply, resting adequately, and aligning every action with your purpose. When you do, busyness ceases to be your identity, and productivity becomes your reality. Success is not about how much you do, but how well you do the few things that matter most. Wearing busyness as a badge only keeps you stuck. Embracing clarity and focus is what will set you free and propel you toward the success you deserve. Productivity is not about doing more, it's about doing what matters most, relentlessly in the modern world. There is a persistent myth that productivity is all about doing more, checking off every task on a never-ending to-do list, working longer hours, juggling multiple projects simultaneously, and constantly being on. But real productivity is not about quantity, it's about quality. It's about focusing relentlessly on the few activities that produce the greatest results and creating meaningful progress in the areas that truly matter. When you understand this, everything changes. You stop wasting your energy on low-value tasks and start investing it in what moves the needle forward. This shift requires a mindset revolution, from busyness as a badge of honor to purposeful action as a defining habit. The truth is, anyone can be busy, but only those who consistently do the right things, no matter how few or how challenging, experience sustained success. It's not about being busy every minute. It's about being effective with the moments that count. At the core of this approach is ruthless prioritization. You must identify your high-impact tasks, the activities that directly contribute to your key goals and vision. Then, you must commit to doing those tasks with discipline and focus, avoiding distractions and temptations that pull you off course. This discipline is the defining trait of productive people. They understand that everything is never achievable, so they choose what matters most and devote themselves to it relentlessly. This focus creates a powerful ripple effect. When you dedicate your time and energy to your top priorities, you create momentum that carries you forward, opening doors and opportunities that weren't visible when you were scattered and overwhelmed. Productivity isn't about doing more, it's about doing what matters most and doing it consistently. This requires clarity about your goals, your values, and your purpose. Without this clarity, you risk falling into the trap of busyness and distraction. When you know exactly what you want and why you want it, it becomes easier to say no to anything that doesn't align. This clarity acts like a filter, allowing you to keep your attention focused on what will make the biggest difference. Another key to relentless productivity is the ability to maintain focus over time. In a world filled with constant interruptions and competing demands, staying focused is a skill that must be cultivated intentionally. This means creating environments that support concentration, minimizing distractions, and practicing techniques like time blocking or the Pomodoro method to enhance sustained attention. Focused work sessions enable you to dive deep into your priorities and achieve breakthroughs that scattered effort never will. Equally important is the willingness to embrace discomfort and persistence. The tasks that matter most are often the hardest. They require you to stretch beyond your comfort zone, to face challenges head on, and to push through resistance. Productivity demands grit, the ability to keep going when motivation wanes and when obstacles arise. Those who succeed understand that consistent effort on meaningful work, even in small increments, compounds over time into extraordinary results. Furthermore, productivity is about progress, not perfection. Many get stuck trying to perfect every detail or waiting for the right moment to act. This paralysis leads to wasted time and missed opportunities. Instead, productive people focus on taking consistent action, learning from mistakes, and refining their approach as they move forward. This iterative process ensures continuous improvement and momentum. It's also critical to remember that relentless focus on what matters doesn't mean ignoring rest and renewal. True productivity is sustainable. It requires balance. Working intensely without recovery leads to burnout and diminishing returns. High achievers know when to step back, recharge, and return to their priorities with fresh energy and perspective. This balance between intense focus and deliberate rest is what fuels long-term productivity and success. In essence, productivity is a choice. A daily decision to align your actions with your highest priorities and to commit to doing those things relentlessly, regardless of obstacles or distractions. It's about moving past the temptation to do more but less effective work and embracing the discipline to do less but far more impactful work. This shift changes everything. Your time becomes more valuable, your energy more concentrated, and your results more significant. You begin to see how small, consistent efforts on the right things build over time, leading to breakthrough achievements and profound fulfillment. Finally, productivity is deeply personal. What matters most for you might be different from someone else's priorities. That's why the journey begins with self-awareness, understanding your unique goals, values, and definition of success. When you align your productivity with your authentic self, you unlock a power that fuels passion and perseverance. In summary, productivity is not about doing more. It's about doing what matters most relentlessly. It's about focusing on your highest priorities, maintaining unwavering attention, embracing persistence, balancing work and rest, and aligning your efforts with your purpose. When you live by this principle, busyness fades away and meaningful progress takes its place. Success is no longer measured by how much you do, but by how well you do the few things that truly count. Relentless focus on what matters most is the ultimate key to transforming your life and achieving the success you deserve.